Let's go over our Big 12 way too early rankings.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our way too early Big 12 predictions. Do you want to kick this one off and do your top five, or do you want me to go with my top five first?
I think we should both unveil who our fifth person is, and we'll just work it back up to number one.
I love it. Okay. Do you want me to go first?
Yep, you start it.
Okay. I got fifth. I got Kansas. They were 5-4 in conference play last year. So I'm not really high on them right now, but they did return LL, Lance Leopold as their head coach. And so I do think they're going to come out with a little bit better record this coming season versus last year. So while I'm not picking them as high as what a lot of people are putting them, I'm putting them at 5.
I have Kansas way lower than that.
Oh, okay.
I have Kansas at 8. Their stadium's undergoing some renovations this year, so they're not going to have any true home games. And
that's a good point.
I think that plays huge into.
Yeah, that does.
You know what I mean? College football is all about that home field advantage and experience. And so, anyways, I got them a little lower than that. I got number 5. I got TCU at number 5.
TCU.
This team is loaded with talent. They played for a national championship 2 years ago, and I think they can keep pushing. I think they're going to be in the upper echelon of the Big 12 conference this year.
I have them much lower.
You do?
Yeah, I don't even have them in my top 5 at all. But yeah, I've got. So you want to go to number 4?
Yep, let's go to 4.
Okay, number 4, I got Arizona.
Okay, I don't. I have them a little lower than that.
I've got Arizona. I'm sorry, man. A lot of people are picking them too. They did have the number 20th ranked offense last year, averaging 448 yards per game, also scoring 34.6 points per game. T-Mac, their wide receiver, looks nasty.
Mm-hmm.
And that quarterback, Noah, what's his name?
Fafita.
Yeah. He's, I don't know, man. I think I'm looking forward to Arizona performing much better this year than they did last year.
My problem is they lost their head coach. Jed Fish left.
Yes.
Went to Washington. Brett Brennan's in. He's a fantastic coach. He coached at San Jose State. Did a great job with the program. But this is going to be tough. They lost a lot of talent to the recruiting portal as soon as Jed Fish left.
Mm-hmm.
Their depth has been depleted. I still have them at 6 in the conference. I think they're going to be talented. But I have number 4. I actually have West Virginia.
Really?
At number 4 in the conference.
Okay.
To open. They got a tough home opener. They got Penn State in their opener. That's a really tough game.
That's tough.
But I mean, their head coach Neil Brown has done a great job. They had a winning season last year, and I think they can keep showing up and showing out. I mean, they've got something to prove that they belong in the Big 12 just like anybody else does. So number 3, who do you got?
Kansas State.
Kansas State. Okay.
I got Kansas State number 3. They have a 6-3 record in conference last year, and they took Texas into overtime last year.
Yeah.
So I really like what Kansas State is doing right there. I just have 2 teams above them in the conference, and I think it's going to be pretty obvious who those 2 teams are, but I really like what Kansas is doing. I like how they play in the conference, and I like what they got returning, so I'm picking Kansas to go third in the
Kansas
conference.
State.
Kansas State. Sorry,
Yep.
Kansas State. Kansas was 5th. Kansas State is.
Yep. So I've got Oklahoma State at 3. Obviously, Mike Gundy, the head coach, tried, true. I mean, those guys, the Cowboys were 5-1 in games last year, decided by 8 or less. They're returning a lot of players. Great football team. But I think they're just a notch under my number 2, who I have at Kansas State.
Okay.
So I got Kansas State at number 2. They got Avery Johnson taking over quarterback this year. Kansas State is a scary team. They are a scary team. They're looking to win a conference title. They've got a pretty reasonable schedule this year that's not super difficult. So I don't know. You obviously have Oklahoma State at number 2.
I have Oklahoma State at number 2.
Okay.
They are 7-2 in conference play last year, and they also played in the Big 12 championship game. So I think
absolutely
between those 2 things right there, I think that pretty much solidifies them. Not necessarily in the top spot, because it's obviously who I have in the top spot, but I think they did well enough to earn my number 2 spot there for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any surprise who we think is the number 1 team in the Big 12 conference this year?
It's not a hat on the table at all. It's not the color of his shirt at all.
I'll just say go Utes.
That's right. I mean, they coming off of an 8-5 record, but they do have Rising and Keefe coming back this year. And any chance that you have Witt on the sidelines, you just can't count those guys out. So, they had a very weird year last year where I think at some point they had like 10 starters out on both sides of the ball.
Oh, dude, it was brutal. It was brutal all year. I mean, as far as injuries, they fought it. But Cam's back. Keithy's coming back. I think setting the bar as a Big 12 championship team is really low for this team. I think this team has national championship aspirations. They want to make it into the college football playoff. we're going to find out real early. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
they got that early game scheduled with Oklahoma State that obviously we're going to see what they're made of. I'm excited. This is going to be a great football year. I think Utah is going to show that they're cream of the crop. You know what I mean?
I agree. I think I'm picking the Utes to win the conference this year, just solely because, again, the talents is returning, the head coaching. I like the rest of what the Big-12 has. I just don't see anybody really competing with that when you break it all down. I mean, Arizona looks great from an offensive standpoint, but, you know, that's really all they got going for them, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, before we move on from college football, actually, we want to hear from you folks who are watching this on YouTube. Let us know in the comments down below what your top 5 are.
If you're watching one of our short videos, it's available wherever you get your podcasts, audio only. There should be a link right over there.
If you'd like to see more of what we covered on this subject, there'll be a link to a playlist right here. Also, make sure you click the subscribe button right here in the middle, and make sure you hit the notification bell so you never miss one of our videos. With that said, my name is Darren, that is AJ, and this has been the DNA Sports Recap.
Till next time.